My sister vowed to care for my 5-year-old. Security cameras revealed. I'm a 34-year-old mom, and I need to share this because I'm still reeling from what happened to my family. My sister swore she'd look after my 5-year-old son, but footage from security cameras showed her abandoning him in a bustling zoo before walking out the gate. My husband, Brock, 36, and I have been married for 8 years. We have a son, Ford, who's 5 and just started preschool. Brock is an IT manager at a tech firm, earning a solid income. I work part-time as a dental hygienist at a nearby clinic. We live in a modest suburban home, about 30 minutes from the city, comfortable for our small family. Brock and I grew up middle class, working hard to create a stable life for Ford. Our son is bright, obsessed with dinosaurs and building blocks. For months, he'd been begging to visit the zoo's Natural History Museum for his upcoming 6th birthday. My mother, Linda, 58, is deeply involved in our lives. She volunteers at an animal shelter and runs a small pet care business from home. In our community, she's known for hosting charity events and fundraisers, often praised for her kindness toward animals and kids. My sister, Karen, 32, is a stay-at-home mom with 2 children, Emily, 7, and Luke, 4. She's married to a successful accountant, and they live in a larger house across the city. Karen has always been the favored child. She excelled in school while I struggled with math. She married a promising young man while I took longer to find my path. My parents helped Karen and her husband buy their home, but when Brock and I needed mortgage assistance, they claimed they had no spare funds. I've accepted that Karen gets preferential treatment, but it still stings sometimes. 3 weeks ago, Ford wouldn't stop talking about his birthday plans. He was desperate to see the zoo's new dinosaur exhibit. The issue was that Brock and I had commitments that Saturday. I had mandatory training at the dental office, which I couldn't skip without consequences. Brock had a critical client presentation scheduled for months. When I mentioned this to my mom during our weekly call, she instantly suggested she'd take Ford to the zoo. Karen was already planning to take her kids there, so Mom said it was the perfect opportunity for a group outing. She insisted everything would be fine and Ford would love spending time with his cousins. I was hesitant. Ford had never been on a major outing without Brock or me. He's well-behaved but can get overly excited and wander off when something catches his eye. I'm the kind of parent who keeps a close watch in crowded places. When I voiced my concerns, Mom laughed, calling me overprotective. She reminded me she raised 2 daughters, and Karen, an experienced mom of 2, chimed in, saying she couldn't wait to take Ford. She'd been to the zoo multiple times with her kids and knew all the best spots. They both stressed how much fun Ford would have with his cousins, learning independence. The night before the zoo trip, I packed Ford's backpack with snacks, water, and emergency contact info. I tucked a note with my and Brock's phone numbers and our address into his pocket and made sure he memorized our numbers. Ford was thrilled, chattering about dinosaurs and playing with Emily and Luke. On Saturday morning, Mom picked him up at 8 a.m. She seemed relaxed, assuring me everything was under control. Karen was in the car with her kids, all excited for the day. Ford gave me a big hug, promising to tell me all about the dinosaurs when he got back. I watched them drive off and got ready for my training. The training went smoothly, ending around 2 p.m. I checked my phone and saw several missed calls from an unknown number. When I called back, a woman named Sarah from the zoo's Lost Children's Department answered. She said Ford was found alone near the exhibits about an hour earlier. He was safe but upset, and I needed to come immediately. My stomach dropped. I asked what happened to the adults watching him. Sarah said Ford told them his grandmother and aunt left him on a bench and didn't return. After 30 minutes, other visitors noticed him crying and took him to security. I called my mom, voicemail. I tried Karen, same result. I called Brock, who dropped his presentation and met me at the zoo. The 20-minute drive felt endless. When we arrived, Ford was in the security office with a staff member, still crying and asking why his grandmother and aunt left him. Sarah explained that Ford was found around 1:30 p.m. near the exhibit exit. He said his grandmother told him to wait on a bench while she and his aunt went for ice cream. When they didn't return, he wandered off, got lost, and was found by other visitors. Sarah noted they'd made multiple announcements calling for Linda and Karen, but no one responded. She mentioned the zoo's cameras could be reviewed if needed. We took Ford home, where he seemed drained. He kept asking if he'd done something wrong to make his grandmother and aunt leave him. We reassured him it wasn't his fault, but he was clearly confused. That evening, my mom finally called, sounding casual as she asked how Ford was. When I demanded to know what happened, she claimed it was a misunderstanding and that she and Karen searched everywhere for him. She said they told security his parents had picked him up, which made no sense since he was found at 1:30 p.m. and no one answered the announcements. When I pointed this out, Mom got defensive, saying zoos are chaotic and kids get separated all the time. She insisted it was an unfortunate accident and we should move on. When I asked to speak to Karen, Mom said she was busy with her kids and suggested we forget the incident to focus on Ford's birthday. Her dismissal infuriated me. It didn't acknowledge the gravity of leaving a child alone. The next day, I called Karen. Her story differed. She said they were near the gift shop when they noticed Ford was gone, while Mom claimed they were in the food area. I called Sarah at the zoo again for more details. She revealed that security footage showed my mom and Karen leaving the zoo's main entrance at 1:15 p.m. without Ford. Footage also showed Ford alone on a bench near the exhibits from 1:13 p.m. This contradicted their claims of searching for him. They left 15 minutes before he was found, with no evidence of checking with security. I confronted my mom with this evidence. She accused me of distrusting her, insisting the zoo's security made a mistake. She touted her reputation as a volunteer with kids and animals. Karen's response was similar, claiming the footage was from another day or that zoo staff misidentified them. She accused me of overreacting since Ford was fine. Both have since dodged my calls, changing the subject or ending conversations quickly. Ford keeps asking when he'll see his grandmother and cousins, but I'm at a loss for what to tell him. Brock believes we should demand answers and consider police involvement, as Ford could have been hurt or abducted. I'm torn between preserving family ties and ensuring Ford's safety. The zoo is massive, with thousands of weekend visitors. A 5-year-old could easily get lost or harmed without supervision. Their refusal to take responsibility makes me question trusting them with Ford again. Should I give my mom and Karen the benefit of the doubt and accept their explanations? Or follow Brock's advice and demand a full account, possibly escalating further? The possibility that my family deliberately left my son behind is haunting. But the evidence points that way 3 weeks later, thank you to everyone who offered advice. Many urged me to uncover the truth, and I've learned things that make this situation far worse. Following Brock's suggestion, I contacted the zoo's security chief, Mark, who was cooperative. He offered to review the footage with us. On Tuesday, Brock and I met him at the zoo's security office, where we watched recordings from multiple cameras. The footage was devastating. It showed my mom, Karen, and the 3 kids entering the zoo at 9:30 a.m. They seemed fine for a few hours, visiting exhibits. At 12:30 p.m., they stopped for lunch in the food zone. By 12:55 p.m., near the exhibits, my mom was seen talking to Ford and pointing to a bench. He sat as instructed while she and Karen left with Emily and Luke. Instead of returning, they went to the gift shop for 15 minutes, leaving Ford alone. At 1:15 p.m., the footage showed them exiting the zoo's main gate without Ford. It was clear they intentionally left him, not a misunderstanding. Mark provided a written report documenting the incident, including timestamps, announcements, and the lack of response from Ford's guardians. I confronted my mom, telling her I saw the footage. She got angry, accusing me of spying and calling it a simple mistake. She claimed she meant to return after the gift shop but lost track of time. This didn't hold up as they left the zoo entirely. She blamed Karen for insisting they leave, assuming she'd fetch Ford. Karen claimed Mom said Ford was with us at the entrance, denying she knew he was still in the zoo. Their conflicting stories confirmed they were lying. I shared the footage and report with my dad and Karen's husband, Tom. My dad was horrified, saying he'd never seen my mom act like this in their 35-year marriage. He promised to confront her. Tom said Karen admitted knowing Ford was still in the zoo but thought it'd teach him independence, believing staff would watch him. This revelation, that they planned to abandon Ford, shocked me. Tom said he's rethinking his marriage, fearing Karen's recklessness with their kids. My dad later said Mom confessed to being annoyed by Ford's behavior and wanted to teach him a lesson by leaving him briefly, but Karen convinced her to leave entirely. He's considering leaving her, questioning her judgment. I told both Mom and Karen they're no longer welcome in our home or around Ford unsupervised. I shared the footage and report with family to ensure transparency. They accused me of ruining their reputations, insisting Ford was unharmed so it wasn't serious. I countered that the potential danger mattered, and their lies showed they knew it was wrong. The animal shelter where Mom volunteers is reviewing her role after I shared the evidence. I regret missing earlier red flags about their behavior, but I'm committed to protecting Ford. 6 weeks later, the situation has grown more complex. My cousin Rachel revealed past incidents. 2 years ago, Mom left my Aunt Mary's 4-year-old daughter, Sophie, alone in a car for 30 minutes while shopping. Mary only learned of it later from Sophie and confronted Mom, who dismissed it as a brief absence. Mary never let Mom watch Sophie again. 3 years ago, Karen left my cousin Brian's 6-year-old son, Michael, alone in a park while visiting a cafe. Other parents found him, and Karen claimed she was nearby, watching. Brian never trusted her with Michael again. These stories show a pattern of Mom and Karen leaving kids unsupervised in risky situations and lying about it. I emailed close family, detailing the zoo incident and past events. Some supported me, while others accused me of vendetta. My dad was upset, feeling I aired family issues publicly, but I insisted child safety outweighs privacy. Tom filed for divorce and custody of Emily and Luke, citing Karen's pattern of neglect. My dad also left Mom, disturbed by her refusal to accept responsibility for months later. This is my final update, as things have reached a resolution. Tom won custody of Emily and Luke, with the court citing Karen's reckless behavior. She's allowed supervised visits but has tried manipulating the kids against Tom. My dad finalized his separation from Mom, who was diagnosed with early-stage dementia after he found her in a disoriented state. The diagnosis might explain her actions, but it doesn't excuse the danger to Ford. I visited her once. She seemed confused, not recalling the zoo incident. I'm torn between pity and anger, but decided Ford won't be around her, given her condition. She's now in a memory care facility. The shelter terminated her volunteer role, and she's become isolated, still denying her actions. Karen's social media posts paint me as vindictive, but I've shared the footage to counter her claims. Ford is adjusting, and we're planning a safe, joyful 6th birthday with trusted friends and Brock's family. I regret ignoring earlier signs, but am relieved to know the truth, however painful. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.